Penguin Random House Audio presents Minecraft: The Crash by Tracey Baptiste. Read for you by January Lavoy. Chapter 1. I'd like to find whoever came up with the phrase, "everything happens for a reason," and give them a piece of my mind. Because the exact last thing anybody needs to hear when their world is completely screwed up is that it's actually a good thing. Like, even if you had a magical time machine that could go back and fix your mistakes, you totally shouldn't use it? Yeah, right. Nobody really believes that. Of course, there's really no good thing to say after everything's turned into a complete and utter mess. Better to keep moving forward, try to fix your mistakes, and hope everything eventually works out. I feel like I should have something wiser to say here, but nope. That's all I've got. Oh, that and the time machine thing. There's always that. Anyway, the mistake I wish I could go back and fix happened days ago. How many days? I couldn't tell you. Time is sort of a mess right now. But one Friday, some time ago, my best friend and I were headed to participate in the social event kickoff of the school year, also known as the homecoming game. I'd convinced Lonnie to go with me, even though neither of us were sports fans. We were gamers, really. Sports, outside of a video game, was not high on our list of priorities. But I figured homecoming was one of those Hallmark high school experiences they make a big fuss about in the movies. Why not check it out? As a newly minted freshman, I was secretly excited about high school. It was like unlocking a new level in the video game of life. Full-size lockers for larger inventory. Bigger bosses like the SATs. You get my drift. Lonnie, on the other hand, was not so convinced about homecoming. So I sweetened the deal. Literally. I told him that I'd make my famous brownies and bring a blanket so we could huddle up together with chocolate in our teeth. I'd like to think it was the brownies and the blanket that appealed to him, but I'm not sure. I mean, there aren't a lot of high school juniors that would want to be seen hanging out with a freshman, but we had been friends since I was 6 and he was 8. So we kind of went beyond the usual high school friendship parameters. Still, the point of all this is, it was all my fault. Everything that happened is on me. Lonnie showed up around 5. I bounded out with brownies and the blanket, got in the car, let him drive off, and we started talking about Minecraft. Our usual convo. "Did you build all the traps?" he asked. I scrunched up my nose. I hadn't. Mainly because I forgot. Actually, I thought it would be better to build up on the base instead. I decided to make the floor of the greenhouse glass so you can look down on everything. "You mean you didn't finish what you said you were going to? Again?" Lonnie sounded more like a disappointed dad than my friend, putting me on the defensive. "I'll get back to it after I finish the new greenhouse," I said. "I don't know why you have to get on my case about it." "Bianca." "Lonnie." "You need to stick to the plan. This whole world is going off the rails. If we want to have something that works really well, we have to do what we set out to make. Isn't that the whole point of the test world? Perfect it there and then move it to the real game?" "I thought the point of the test world was to do crazy stuff so we could see what works and what doesn't. To go as bonkers as we can go, blow stuff up, make a mess, and never have to fix it." Lonnie sighed. He passed his hand over his close-shaven head and squeezed his eyelids down for a second as if he was in pain. When he opened his eyes again, they were a cloudy gray, like the sky, not the sharp steel gray that meant he was in a good mood. "I thought you wanted to do this project," he said. "You said you wanted to craft a whole world, new landscapes, entire villages, a whole set of society rules, and then mess around with it." "Yes, but..." "But first we have to make it. And to make it, we need to have a plan, Bianca." I didn't mean for us to fight. I wasn't sure what to say to get him to stop breathing heavily like he was an angry dragon cooking up a fire to blow in my direction. You never follow the plan. First you say you want to do something, and I say, okay, here's the plan. Then you say, great plan, and then you don't even pretend to do what I outlined. Oh, so this was going to be a full-on fight. But here I am being your chauffeur, he added. You just got your license. You need the practice, I said. Plus, think of all that horizon expanding you'll be doing by finally going to an actual sporting event. Since when do you like sports? He asked. I shrugged. Since it's my first time ever going to a big school thing, and I just want to see what it's like to be out with the masses. Masses is just another word for mobs. Trust me, high school's not all that it's cracked up to be. He turned, screeching down West Elm Road. Where is the stupid field again? 2 streets down and then a right, I said smugly. He pulled up at the light and revved the engine. Even his body movements seemed annoyed. I sucked in my top lip and chewed on it as I pulled at one of my cornrows and wrapped and unwrapped it around my finger. You know, they're bulldozing the playground, I said suddenly. The light changed, and he lurched forward. So? Do you want to see it before everything's gone? What for? Because it was the scene of our greatest adventures? I asked. Because it'll never look like that again? Because it was our place first? Yeah, sure. Do you remember how to get there? I teased. He turned his steely gray eyes on me and I grinned. I knew that look. It meant that our little fight was over. Instead of turning right on Grandview, he turned left. The playground already looked like a ghost town. The swing seats were gone. All that was left was the A-frame, mottled blue from the faded and peeling paint. The rope bridge was lying half in the black rubber mulch, one end still attached to what used to be the climbing wall when all the foot and hand rests were still attached. I climbed up the ladder, which wobbled now that it wasn't attached properly, and I went down the tube slide coming out at Lonnie's sneakered feet. Have a go? I asked. He shook his head. I'm surprised this is the first renovation they're doing since we were little, he said. They probably should have condemned it a long time ago. But it's our place, I said. It was, Lonnie replied, not unkindly. This playground was where we'd met, and where we'd become friends and imagined our first worlds together. We would pretend to be swashbuckling pirates on the rope bridge, launch ourselves like trapeze artists off the swings, and defend our fortress from invading imaginary zombies. In fact, one of our first projects in Minecraft was to create a better version of the playground. The ground was always lava, naturally. After all this time, we always stuck together, even as the playground itself fell apart. Remember the time I tried to flip off the monkey bars and you broke my fall? I asked, looking to stoke some nostalgia. Yeah, I got a broken wrist for my troubles, Lonnie said, shaking his head. You never were a great planner even then, always wanting to push the limits but never thinking about the follow-through. You know, if I wanted a lecture, I could just go to class. I crossed my arms. Lonnie shrugged and kicked the faded yellow plastic cap from something and walked off to what used to be a dome of monkey bars. Most of the bars were in a pile on the ground. I followed him. He stared down at the pile quietly. The sun was just going down, casting an orange glow over the playground. Silence settled around us. He was right. This place wasn't ours. Not any longer. Let's just go, I said. Homecoming rally, yeah, he mocked. I reached my hand out to him and felt a jolt of electricity when he caught my fingers, swinging them.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?